As we all know, NBA 2K22 is the easiest 2K to shoot in. No doubt about it. Despite being able to green consistently with builds that have no business shooting, you only really see a handful of different builds when you load up into the park. I personally like to stray away from the meta and just have fun in the game. Dropping off tryhards with unique builds might be one of the funnest things you can do when playing 2K in my opinion. If you want to just have fun in the game or just stray away from the meta, I have some builds for you. Today, I'm going to be going over the top 5 most fun builds in NBA 2K22, so let's hop straight into it. Now, before we get into the first build, I have to address some things. I have personally made and upgraded all of these builds myself, so none of this is just me speculating or just talking about what I think will be good. All of these builds I have used before. If you want to see some gameplay on these builds, go check out my channel. I've dropped the gameplay on every single one of these builds that I'll be showing you in today's video. But with all that being said, man, make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We're getting very, very close to 21,000 subscribers, man. We're trying to hit 25K by the end of the month, so help me achieve my goals, man. It really mean a lot. We post daily content here, gameplay videos, build videos like these, so I'm sure you'll like your stay here, but if you don't want to, that's cool. Let's get straight into the top 5. I actually forgot to mention one thing. We are in the metric system, so if you want to make these builds exactly how I made them, go in the metric system. If you don't know how to change it, go to your settings, go to the unit of measurement, and it should say it's on the imperial system. Just switch it to metric, and overall you can just make better, more precise builds to get more attributes to fit your liking, and I just recommend you always keep it on. But if you don't want to, I understand that, but today we're using the metric system. Starting it off at number 5, I have my 3&D point. Now, that doesn't mean this build isn't fun, but I have more builds that are more fun than it. This build is probably one of the most well-balanced builds in the game. It can play a hybrid of big man, and it can guard the guards. It can ISO, it can shoot, it gets park dunks. This build is absolutely insane. Obviously, 3&D point, you want to go point guard handedness. Jersey number does not matter. Now, for the pie chart, we're actually going to use one of the new pie charts they added. You would think it's probably this one right here, but no, we want more shooting than defense, and you don't really have any problem. Why is it so far? Oh my god, that was really far down. But in my opinion, this pie chart is just so much better because the higher 3-point rating you get more ball handle. The defense isn't too much of a big deal. I just dropped the gameplay on my 3&D point, so if you want to see that, go check it out. This build is absolutely insane. For the physicals, basically on every single build you're gonna make, you want to go with the all speed unless you're making like a inside big or a post score or something like that, but this is not one of those builds, so we're gonna go with the all speed. Now, for the attributes, I'm not gonna go too in depth. If you want to see how I actually go in depth on why I do certain attributes, you can watch my full build video, but I'm gonna go over these quick because we do have to get through 5 builds and it might take a while, but I'm gonna just go over the basics. Driving lane we're gonna max out, and our driving down we're gonna max out as well. Take one off our layup because this comes in clutch on another attribute, so we get another badge somewhere else. Now, for our shooting, to get the 3&D point name, we can't have our midi too high. We're gonna get this to an 81 right here. Max with the 3-pointer, the free throw, and the post phase going to a 75, giving us a nice 24 shooting badges. Now, we're actually going to get the maximum amount of badges that we can get for playmaking, so we're going to max out our passing accuracy, our ball handle, and our post control. We're going to get this to a 49. Look, we don't get any more, so this is the highest we can go. Get some more attribute points, because we don't want to waste these right here. There's no point. We still want that 12 playmaking badge count because, hey, you don't get too many, but you definitely want to have a decent amount to work with. Now, for our defense, we're going to max our interior, our perimeter defense, our lateral quickness, our steal, and our defensive rebound. Now, as you can see, we get 19 defensive badges. You don't really need an offensive rebound. You don't really need a block. We still get chased on animations. I've had no problem getting offensive rebounds with rebound chaser gold. You're not going to have any problem against other guards who don't have an offensive rebound. So this build is going to be running the 1 or the 2. You don't really need it, especially if you're a corner sitter. You're not going to need O board because why would you need it if you're going to be going to the corner? You're not going to crash. You're going to get back on defense because you're a lockdown, right? Body shape, I went with Burley, but you can go with whatever. Now, for the height, you want to go up to 1.99. Now, 1.98 is at 6'6" off the rip. I'm pretty sure you can still get the name, but I want to be just that much closer to 6'7" on this build. So we're gonna go 1.99. We do look a little bit taller, or more of that big man hybrid type of build. For the weight, I maxed this out. I don't know about y'all, but we don't lose too much speed. Look. We lose like what? Like 2 speed, and we gain 4 interior defense. If you want, you could minimize this. I'm not sure if you still get the same name, but there's really no point for 2 speed. I don't see a point. We are more of a hybrid build, so I would just maximize it right here, get as much interior defense as possible. For the wingspan, this might turn you away from the build. I'm sorry if you don't like minimum wingspan, but that's what we're gonna have to do. The stats should change your mind. We still get 80s and on the perimeter defense, a 94 3 ball at 99, a 75 ball handle at 99. Park dunks at 97. This build is incredible. This build is really solid. I understand if you don't like minimum wingspan, we have some other builds for you in today's video, but this build is definitely really solid. I would go a sharpshooting takeover. As you guys can see, we have built a 3&D point. Shades of Lonzo Ball, Kirk Heinrich, and LaMelo Ball. We get both Ball brothers in the comparisons, which was kind of interesting. But let's hop into this second build, man. Coming in at number 4, we have the defensive anchor. Now, I personally have this build, and I have so much fun on it. It's a defensive god. It can shoot, it can dunk, it can dribble a little bit. It's an absolute menace to society. I'm not gonna lie. For the position, we want to go center position. Handedness doesn't matter. I'm gonna go lefty, jersey number 80. Why not? Now for the pie chart, you can only go with one pie chart. I'm 100% sure, unless you guys are some demigods and figure out something else. I don't know. I try to get finishing and defense. You can't get the build name. I'm pretty sure you need an 80 perimeter defense. This is the only part that you can get it with. For the physical profile, most speed, always, unless you're like going against post scorers. Maybe I can see you doing this, but we're going to drop the weight a decent amount anyway, so you're going to lose most of that strength when you drop the weight. So there's no real point. Now for the attributes, you have to be pretty precise. You can't do too much and still get the build name. You get a lot of different names like a glass cleaning finisher, paint beast. I haven't made this build in a while, so I'm not really sure what the other names are, but I know you have to be pretty precise if you want to get these ratings. So for our finishing, we're going to max out our close shot, our driving lane. We're going to get our driving dunk to a 63. Now we're going to go way higher. We do get contact dunks on this build, but we can't go higher than this. I'm sorry, but that's just the way the build has to work. We're going to max out our standing dunk, and we're going to get our post hook to a 35 right here, giving us 13 finishing badges, which is definitely enough to work with. Now, if you guys have seen me play on this build can shoot. You're probably doubting it. You're going to see the range. You're like, oh my God, he can't shoot. Check out my channel if you don't believe me. This build shoots pretty consistently, very surprisingly, but we're going to max out literally everything right here, but we actually have to take one off of our mid-range. Trust me, it'll come in clutch. We'll get another badge somewhere else, so just do what I did. For our playmaking, we're just going to max out our ball handle. This will go way up. You see a 38. We're going to drop the height. It'll go up in the 50s. And a 50 is way better than like, what, a 20-something. You know, it's just overall a better attribute. Now for the defense, we're going to max basically everything out except for when it comes to the rebounding. Right here, we get a 99 block and 99. We have to do very interesting attributes for our rebounding. We're going to get our defensive rebound to a 77. Not terrible. And our offensive rebound, we're going to get this to a 72, giving us 23 defensive badges. Now, these aren't the final attributes. We are going to drop the height a decent amount. So don't freak out. You'll be like, oh, this build sucks. No, we're going to drop the height. It's kind of an undersized small center, and we're very, very fast on this build. Body shape, it really doesn't matter. You can go with whatever. I'm going to probably go with defined. We're going to drop the weight all the way down and go up one right here. You could go here, but I wanted to go right here just to be a little bit taller. I feel like it helps out the build a lot. And plus, if you go here, you have to drop down the driving dunk even more. You get less finishing badges. So that's a no-no. We're going to go 2.07. And this is actually the tallest height you can go and still get the quick dribble move packages unlocked. So that's kind of interesting. Just wanted to throw that out there. Now for the weight, we want to go down to 88 kilograms. I'm pretty sure that's minimum right here. Boom. We get an 81 speed, an 80 acceleration, an 80 perimeter defense, and 80 lateral quickness, bro. Look at this. Our driving dunk goes up, our driving lane goes up. 80 perimeter defense and lateral quickness on a defensive anchor build. We still have a solid interior defense. I'll be an 80 and 99. We'll have a 95 block when you mess with our wingspan. Our speed is an 81. We're 6'9". That's insane to think about. Our strength, like I said, we're going to drop our weight, so there's no reason to go with any other pie chart. For our wingspan, we're going to max this out, obviously. 84 driving it, we do get some of the contact dunks, and we'll get like the Michael Jordan packages. And we do get an 88 at 99, so we will have most of the contact dunk packages on lock once we are 99. 79 steal. Rebounding's not awful, but you have to do it this way if you want to get the build name correct. Now for the takeovers, you can go with either slasher or rim protector, but we're a defensive anchor. We want to have that defensive takeover in my opinion. So I went with this, and we get the defensive anchor name with shades of Clint Capella, Alonzo Mourning, and Jared Allen. Let's hop into this next build, man. Coming in at number 3 on my list, I have my two-way stretch 4. Now, if I had this build at 99, maybe that would change my opinion. I'm not 100% sure. This build might be able to go number 1. It might be able to go number 5. I'm not 100% sure. This build definitely is really, really fun, and I haven't really experienced it with pro drill moves. But, hey, I'm giving away too much. I got to show you how to make the build. For the position, we want to go power forward. We're a two-way stretch 4, so the 4 is the power forward, in case you guys did not know. Left-handedness, I just like my players lefty. Just number, like I said, doesn't matter as always. Now for the pie chart, we're using the same one we used on the 3 and D point, and we're gonna go down to it right here. Boom. My opinion, the best pie chart in the game. If you don't believe me, I don't know why you don't. That would be weird if you don't believe me. For the physical profile, we're gonna go with the one with the all speed. Same thing, blah blah blah. You already understand why. Now we're gonna go OD on the finishing attributes. The reason we're doing this, go slashing takeover, this build gets contact dunks. If you don't believe me, I'll put a little clip on screen, show you guys that this build is no joke. We get contact dunks, we can dribble a little bit, we can shoot, and we can play some defense. It's kind of like a 3 and D point on crack, but it's less of a guard. So we're gonna max out our close shot, our layup, our dunk, and our standing dunk. We're gonna take one off our layup. We're gonna get a badge somewhere else in the long run, so there's no reason not to do it. We're gonna max out our midi, our 3-pointer, our free throw, and we're gonna take one off our midi again. We get a different name. We do not want a different name. For our playmaking, we're gonna max out our passing accuracy, our ball handle, and our post control is going to a 35. Looking back at it, I low-key think we should have went more playmaking on this build. So if you want, you still get the build name. You could max this out, but you have to sacrifice something else. But I'm just gonna show you the way I made mine, because I'm not gonna capper I'm gonna go right here to a 35, giving us 4 playmaking badges. Now for the defense, we're gonna max our interior, our perimeter defense, our lateral quickness. We're gonna skip over our steal. Steal rating really is so overrated. You get so many steals without the rating at all. You throw on pickpocket, you throw on interceptor, you're gonna be completely fine. We're gonna max out the wingspan, so it shouldn't be too big of a concern for you. We're gonna max out our block and our defensive rebound right here. Now, like I said in the 3-and-D point, you don't really need offensive rebound. We do have gold rebound chaser, so it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Body shape, you can really go with whatever, it doesn't really matter. Height, we're gonna drop this all the way down to 2.01, which is equal to 6'7". You don't need to go metric if you want to make this build, but I'm just there, so why not? Now for the weight, you cannot go under this weight. I'm pretty sure you can max this out, but you have to go 90 kilograms. That is the lowest you can go. I think you can max it out. I'm not 100% sure. If you want to be slower, you can do this, but you lose a lot of driving laps. So I just want 90 because I want to be speedy and really, really fast and dominant on this build. And for our wingspan, we want to max this out. As you guys can see, we'll still get a 70 ball handle, which unlocks a lot of good attributes at 98 overall. We still have an 80 mid-range and an 83 pointer. We'll have an 82 standing dunk, a 76 driving dunk at 99, a 90 close shot at 99, 85 perimeter, an 86 lateral. We'll get an 80 block, 85 defensive rebound. This build is definitely really, really solid, but at 99, it's elevated to a whole nother level. Now for the takeovers, we put so much attributes in our finishing, so we do get slashing takeover. Boom. 2-way stretch forward with contact dunks to the takeover. That's the third build on my list. Let's get on to this second build, man. We're getting so close to number 1, I can almost smell it, but I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let's get into number 2, my 7'3" stretch. Now this build literally cannot be contested. Y'all already know 7'3", you can't do that with any other position, so we're gonna have to go center. Handedness, jersey number always don't matter. Obviously we're a stretch, so we're gonna go with the all green pie chart right here. Trust me, I tried to go with this one right here, but we don't get handles for days like that. And this, your 3-pointers in like the 60s, and we don't want that. For our physical profile, you might be able to argue that you want to go with strength if you want to be more of a post scorer, but I want to be like an ISO stretch. It is pretty wild, but hey, we have to do what we have to do, and I want to be as fast as humanly possible on this build. For our finishing, we actually want to get a decent amount of finishing badges. This build can kind of be like a post scorer if you make it right. So for the finishing, we want to make this build kind of like a post scorer if we want to. We're going to get our close shot to an 80 rating right here. We're not going to touch our driving dunk just because it's going to be way too low, even if we did upgrade it maxed. We're going to get right here at 9 finishing badges with our standing dunk and post hook. Now we're going to get a lot of shooting badges on this build. Midi max, 3-pointer max, and our post fade max. Y'all are sleeping on the 99 post fade, bro. At 99, boom. 99 post fade. Or if you just have floor general, boom. For our playmaking, we're going to get our passing accuracy to a 62. We're going to max out our post control. If we were to go lower, boom, we don't get a playmaking. We don't really want to go on our ball handle because we only gain like 4 ratings, and we're just wasting attribute points. And we want to get at least a couple defensive badges, so we can't go on ball handle and this. You could get 12 playmaking, but honestly, I don't really see a point. You're not going to get any handles for days or nothing crazy. For our defense, we're going to max out our interior, both of our reboundings, and we're going to put the rest on our block. Block is not as important as your rebounding stats, in my opinion. If you just have long arms and a rim protector, you're still going to get blocks, and you're probably looking at the defense like, oh my god, it's so trash. Yes, it might not be good, but this build's a 1v1 court demon. If you're taller than them, you're probably going to get a rebound if you have the right positioning. If we had a lot more defensive badges in general, you wouldn't be able to use them. Just your best ability, just because you're going to be so damn slow because you're 7'3". Overall badge count, 9, 26, 8, and 3. Definitely really, really solid. Body shape, now if you want to go more of a post scorer, you can definitely go burly. I want to look glitchy though. I want to go slight. For the height, we're going to go 7'3". We just want to max it out, so 2.21 is equal to 7'3". For the weight, we want to minimize this right here, get as much speed as we possibly can. 53 doesn't look good, but hey, if we were to max this out, it wouldn't be looking good either. 35 to 53. I think a 53 definitely is passable. For our wingspan, this might turn you guys away. I went minimum. You're already 7'7". 2.21 centimeters. I'm actually gonna look this up right now. Even though our wingspan is minimum, it's still 7 foot long. We're still gonna be fine, so there's no real thing to worry about too much. For the takeovers, I'm gonna go with sharpshooter. If you want to be a toxic post scorer and abuse them fades, by all means go ahead. That's not me though. I want to go sharpshooting takeover. And as you can see, we have built a balanced score with shades of Patrick Ewing, Kristaps Porzingis, or Joel Embiid. Now, if you don't want the balanced score name, what you can do, take off basically all the finishing, put it in defense, and boom, there you go. Just, yeah. But the name, in my opinion, just isn't worth it, so we do have to deal with the balanced score name, which isn't too bad in my opinion. All right, y'all ready? Coming in at number 1 on this list is my point power forward. Now, this is probably the most in-depth build I've ever made in any 2K in my entire life. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get into the pie chart, the takeover, all that good stuff. If y'all have already seen my channel, you already know what's going on with this build, but this is my favorite, most fun build in the game, in my opinion. Now for the position, we are a point power forward, so obviously we're going to go powerful position. Lefty, 38, why not? For the pie chart, we want to go with the playmaking and slashing one right here, but we're going to get a takeover you wouldn't even believe is possible with this pie chart. Now before we get into upgrading this build, we do have to make these attributes very precise. We do not get the takeover we're looking for, so if you want to make this build and kind of make some tweaks to it, basically just make the build I made first, then make tweaks after, because you're not going to get the takeover on this build if you mess around too much. So we're going to skip over our close shot. We're going to get our driving layer to a 70 right here. Max our driving and standing dunk, giving us 11 finishing badges. This is probably one of the most well-balanced builds I've ever made in any 2K of all time. Now for our shooting, we're going to max out our midi, our three-pointer, our free throw, and our post fade, but we can't get our midi too high, so we're going to drop this down by 2, and we still have 1 extra point to take away from our free throw, so we're just going to do that right here. So we still get our 12 shooting badge, which is kind of weird. On this pie chart, we do get more shooting than finishing, which is, I'm not complaining, it's just a little bit different, you know. For our playmaking, like I said, you have to be very, very precise. We're going to get this to a 68 right here. You cannot go higher. Ball handle max, and our post control is going to go to a 56 right here, giving us 11 playmaking badges. It's kind of weird to think that shooting is our most badges so far, and it will be our most badges in general when it's not even in our pie chart. It's kind of dope though. For our interior, we're going to get this to a 54. We're going to max our perimeter, our lateral quickness, our offensive block, and defensive rebound. I didn't mean to do that first, but I kind of just saw it and it worked. So boom, 11, 12, 11, and 9. Now you're probably looking at this, bro, the badge count is nothing crazy. It's super well balanced. You're still going to be able to get the job done on this build. And when you guys see the height, the wingspan, the weight, the attributes, the takeover with the name on top of all that, y'all will be like, bro, I didn't even know that was possible. I know, I'm just a build guy, and I got everything engraved in my brain to prove to y'all that I'm a build genius. Body shape never really matters. You can go with whatever. Height, we want to drop this all the way down to 6'7", which is equal to 2.01, and vice versa. Attributes, much better looking, right? Our speed, much better looking, right? This build's gonna be a demon. For our weight, we can't go minimum, but I don't even want to. Look at the interior defense. You don't really want that. You do get a different build name, takeover, all that stuff like I've mentioned before. We're gonna go 1.09. I'm pretty sure 1.09 is the lightest you can go with. You probably can max it out, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just gonna go 1.09 to get this 84 speed, definitely looking crispy. Wingspan, we want to minimize this all the way, and we're gonna go up 1, as you guys can see. 85 driving dunk. I don't think that gives you contact dunks this year, but you do unlock a lot more packages. We get the 84 driving dunk contact dunks, 80 ball handle off the rip. We'll have a 73 ball, 76 midi, solid defense, good standing dunk, really good speed acceleration for 6'7", and bro, sharp shooting takeover on a playmaking slashing pie chart. If you're looking at this takeover, you're like, bro, it's not that crazy. Try it yourself. Try making a build with this pie chart and getting sharp shooting takeover with the best attributes possible. You have to finesse a lot, but that's what makes this build so much fun. The way that nobody knows how to guard you, and the name on top of that, we get a point power forward. In my opinion, hands down the most fun build in the game, and that's why it came in at my #1 spot. We use shades of Jeremy Grant, Tobias Harris, and Pascal Siakam. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe if you made it to the end of the video. Typically what I do, I give my subscribers something to comment. 12. I don't know why, but 12 popped into my brain. So if you made it to the video, go comment 12. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on my next video. Also, let me know if you want to see more top 5s, because these are fun to make, and I like to put y'all on game with some of the rare builds that I found. And yeah, I'll catch y'all on my next upload tomorrow. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I feel like I've said I'll catch y'all tomorrow like 70 times, but yeah, I'm out. Peace.